black as midnight, black as pitch, blacker than the foulest witch. So this is the Black Masses, the last game I played, and it really feels like a Skyrim RPG. It's very different than a lot of the games I've played. Overall, I have to be honest, I didn't play a lot of Skyrim, but I've played enough Skyrim to tell you this feels like Skyrim meets like a sort of like a zombie invasion story. The RPG aspect is kind of like you attack to build up, so kind of like Skyrim, and like the more you attack, the stronger your character gets, and like more of a fighter that they become. So improves your health, vitality, and magic, and like each fight or use of your weapons increases their power, just like Skyrim. So that's why it really feels like I'm playing a horror version of Skyrim, or like Gothic meets Resident Medieval. Someone said. I thought that was pretty close. So apparently, you become marooned on an island, and I think I kind of missed the cutscene and I couldn't see it again. But I think something chooses you as like the savior of this island, and then you wake up. I'm not sure if it's a dream or something, and then you find out like something's obviously wrong when there's no one around on this island. And like the parkour is really important in this game for climbing the structures, because there's not always stairs going up, and like you can reach hidden places in the buildings by jumping up, and just your character grabs onto the plank, and like you can move along with like a parkour move and lift yourself up, and that's how you get further once you arrive on this island. And yeah, there's thousands of buildings in this game without any loading time. Now they say that, but really there's certain parts, just like with Far Cry, where the game will load the next area, but it only lasts a second or two, and it's noticeable, but like then there's no loading time for a long time. Yeah, so it's more of like a hiccup as you explore. And apparently this island in the game, it's like a 16-kilometer inhabited island, so it's huge. There's no way you can get through a lot of this game without spending like a whole weekend on it. The graphics are amazing, but really this game's not about the graphics. It's about having like a lot of zombies on screen at once. The most I saw was like a dozen, and I don't think it really slowed things down, but I've heard you can see like dozens or hundreds of them. So that's why the graphics aren't like cutting edge. It's more about having like a ton of zombies in the area, and I didn't get that far enough in the island because there's certain areas I think that are restricted. You have to follow the way the game wants you to play in a certain sense. So I feel like I played this game for a while to learn more about the story. I loved the setup. I thought it was really interesting. I wanted to know, okay, what did happen here? And I realized that like the notes and explanations in this game, and it's a shame, I think it is early access, but still you think you're reading it, and like the notes that I saw were interesting, but there weren't enough like story elements to sort of have you keep going and progressing. At least for me, I thought like, okay, I just killed 100 zombies and I haven't learned anything for like 30 minutes or so about what's going on the island and everything. So it sort of like held me back from wanting to progress further, because all I was doing was I was whacking zombies with like an oar, and that's all I was doing, like just to get out of a building, because you would have like 5 zombies waltz up, and like you couldn't get out of the building without taking them out, otherwise you're gonna get trapped. So yeah, the setup for the story is great. There's just so much mindless zombie bashing, and like I feel like this game's concept, like all the story that you learn about, is wasted, because like then you get stuck killing like a dozen or more zombies, and it's like, okay, what happened to the story? That's what I was here for. I'm not here to, you know, take out like thousands of zombies. That's not what I think they were trying to do. But yeah, that's what you end up doing. Like you start off with a story, and then you're killing waves of zombies, and it's like, okay, why am I playing this? Because like I'm not getting more parts of the story. And apparently, from what I read, I think it doesn't you know, it doesn't really get explained that well. Like, you'll get bits and pieces like much later, but you have to go through like hundreds more zombies. And the combat itself is like very janky, and that's why the constant fighting gets old really fast. There's like a downward thrust you can do to bash zombies down, and then there's like a sort of flick of the wrist zombie attack, and that's it. It's cool for like 30 minutes, and then after that it's like, okay, I don't want to keep doing mindless zombie bashing. It's fun for like 20 minutes, but like, you know, I don't want to do that for the rest of my day. So yeah, you just want to read more notes, learn more about the lore. The game costs almost 25 bucks. I got it for 11. I still feel like I kind of got ripped off. It should be like a 5 or 10. Yeah, there's just like too much mindless zombie killing, which isn't bad if that was like the genre, like a twin stick, like Enemy Within or something else, but like that's like because you're mowing down tons of them. You're not like stuck in a battle for like 10 minutes taking out the whole village like I was in this game. I also got stuck indoors because there's dynamic time going on. So I was out during the day, I found a town, then I went indoors where there's only like candles. So because the sun went down, I couldn't see anything inside the building, so I had to like somehow like in the dark figure out where everything was and pick up items and stuff and wait till the sun came back up, because I couldn't even find like the downstairs entrance where I'd come inside that building, and like there's zombies outside, so even the zombies outside weren't the threat. The building structure was a threat because there wasn't sufficient lighting to move around inside. So the dynamic day-night cycle is great, but like not if it means that you can't keep playing the game. So I don't know, it feels like the game, I know it's early access, but it really feels like super underdeveloped. It has a lot of potential. It obviously wants to go somewhere with all this story and like 16 kilometers of island mass to explore. But yeah, it just feels like a somewhat polished demo. It doesn't feel like a game. Hopefully soon it'll be a game in like 6 months to 2 years. I think they've spent like at least 2 years already on this game, and it's like kind of a demo, kind of a game. But yeah, like killing 100 zombies, zero purpose, it's not my cup of tea. I'm sure a lot of people will be like, hey, that's cool, you know, a zombie killer game, but it just gets really monotonous. And I'd just give it a 5 out of 10. There's some people saying like this is the coolest game, it's like a sign of the future, and I feel like no. Like, if you don't have a purpose, you don't have a story, art, or anything, it's mindless, purposeless, and it's just not developed or diverse enough right as it is right now, as cool as the concept is, to be recommended until the combat's refined and the story's refined. So it's a shame, because like where this is heading right now is good, but do we have to wait another 2 to 5 years for like a completed game or a more refined game? You know, you need the story now, so it's a shame. I think they released this into early access way too soon. So yeah, time is the killer of everything. Hopefully this game survives time.